Hey YouTube, so let's talk about fun witch tips that you could use on your phone. Things that I use all the time, apps, and other things I use my phone for when it comes to witchcraft. So one of the things that I do is vision board. I use my background of my phone and my lock screen to be my vision board because you're supposed to have a vision board be in a place you see it a lot, so it constantly reminds you of what you are trying to manifest in your world. It is something that kind of reminds me of spells that I am currently having in the works. I also use it as just a general, this is where my life should be headed and I'm leaning towards it. I love using vision boards all the time. It is a great constant reminder and it always kind of brings a smile to my face. And for a while I used to have physical ones posted up in my room somewhere, but after a while I've realized that there are certain things that I just look past all the time and I don't even like remember that it's there. And so I then switched it to my computer screen, but then I was like, well, what's the one thing you look at probably the most instead of your computer screen? Phone. Much easier. So making a phone background, I have the Photoshop app on here. Focus. So Photoshop Express right there, and in there you can do a collage, really simple. You just pick whatever photos you have. I do always a mix of photos that I have taken mixed in with photos that I grab off of Pinterest or something. I don't ever use it in a monetary sense because that's image theft, but I use it to, you know, I just like take a quick screenshot of it as something to aspire to, something I don't currently have. If it is something in my life that I know I can take a photo of, I immediately do that in the sense of like, I want to, so like on my current vision board, I have a picture that I took while I was in Portland because I think that might be the place I want to move to. I have pictures of me doing witchcraft, certain witchcraft pictures, one of a black candle and a holder that I really loved when I took it, and I also have one of me doing some work over my cauldron, which is nice. But then I also have like a kitchen that's like really cute and for me kind of has that really nice minimal but still kind of eclectic-y vibe, which I really enjoy. I have a little cauldron mug because I allow myself one physical thing per vision board, so I would like to buy a cauldron shaped mug at some point. And then I have a cute boy kissing on a girl for hopeful relationships that I can manifest into my life. And so having this here has just been really helpful, and I make it both my home screen and my lock screen because this gives me a really clear version of this where if I just have it as my home screen, all the other apps are on top of it and it doesn't work as well. That's number one. The second thing I use my phone for all the time with witchcraft is my notes app. I'm not sure what you would have for Android. I'm sure you have some sort of notes app, but the amount of spells and poetry that I write on my notes app is ridiculous. Like off the top here, I have Enveloping Darkness, the Sometimes I Need Armor poem slash spell that I use to remind myself that my clothing can be a magical barrier against the world, I guess. I also have some Magic Comes and Goes in Tides. I have my alligator or crocodile poem, which is a kind of a devotion slash acknowledgement of Sobek as one of the deities that I work with. I have a lot of Loki based stuff that I kind of like after I come out of the astral. A lot of times I just have to grab my phone so I can type it out real quick, remember some of the words he said to me, and it kind of comes in like weird fragments, but once I read it back I can like see a theme to some of the lessons he's trying to teach me, which are interesting. So there's that, and I use this all the time. My notes are just kind of like my go-to place. I will later then take a note, and if it's like a physical spell, I like to actually like write down for surezies into my grimoire or into another book or something, or onto a piece of paper to burn later, but it always seems to start in my notes, and then I'll delete it later if I need to, or sometimes I'll just kind of save it or send it to myself in an email in case anything happens to my notes. But my notes are kind of like my go-to place. Second thing that I do all the time is I put into my phone case a spell or a talisman. It is never outwardly on anything. I prefer this to be a little more minimal, although I need to buy a new phone case and I'm considering buying one that has a little witchy undertones in it just for funsies. But I like the fact that I can have, like right now there is a piece of paper in the back of my phone, and it is a manifestation thing that I did along with my 2 cup spell, which I will be putting a video of about how I did that and hopefully what the results are. Currently in the back of my phone case, I just plop it in with my phone and it's locked here, and so since I have this with me wherever I freaking go, now the spell is always there. So I always like to keep talismans. Some people said they take like stickers and stuff of different like deities. When I was talking about at the at Fantasia Crystals, someone had mentioned that. They're like, yeah, no, you put like a sticker in the back of your phone. I'm like, oh, that's smart. They have like the Mercury symbol just to help like communication and stuff through your phone. I was like, ooh, smart, smart, yes. So that's always fun. That's another suggestion of something you can do. The next thing I have on my phone is more of apps wise, which is pretty simple. Where did it go? It is Moon Plus, which just tells me what the hell the moon is doing, because I don't have time to remember. And most of the times, if someone is telling me what is happening, like this, no, I'm not gonna remember. When full stuff happens, when it doesn't happen, I need to look it up all the time. Instead of Googling it all the time, I just pull up my app and it says upcoming, I know when the first quarter moon is, I know when the full moon is, and it says right now what the moon is doing. So right now it is phase is waxing crescent, the moon is 39% full, and the full moon comes in 9 days and 5 hours is when the moon is going to be full, which is great. You can figure out, it has a whole moon calendar if you go into there. So I really loved that app. I'm all about it. All of the yes. The second app that I have on my phone is great for Witchy is Golden Thread. Where is it? Is the Golden Thread Tarot app. And I have mixed feelings about a digital tarot deck versus a non-digital tarot deck. When it comes to tarot deck apps, I found it was really hard finding one that worked well and had all the things. Like I kind of wanted to learn tarot a little better, so I thought, hey, this would be a great way to constantly have myself memorize stuff, and if I'm pulling a card every day, even if I don't have my deck with me, then I also am not worried about destroying my deck, which would be great. So having a digital deck would be really great, but I didn't want to like take pictures of every single one of my cards, and like how do you randomize that? Like it was a whole thing. This one's great because it does things like you have your daily draw, you can log cards, so you can look back and say, ooh, okay, so on September 1st, I pulled the moon in reversed, and it gives you a little talk about that. And if that is something that, if I'm seeing a reoccurring theme happening, I can look at it like, reminds me of something that happened that day. What was the tarot card I pulled? Some, you also have your daily draw. It always reminds you, it resets at midnight every night, which I haven't done mine today. The Lover's reversed. How nice. Loss of balance, one-sided disharmony. That is one thing I will say about this though. Like, I like having it as a way to just constantly be pulling tarot and always having it with me. And it's something where like, it also lets you do, it has lessons on it. And then it also will do like, get a reading. And you can do, you have like a physical deck one, but it'll like give you different spreads that you can do and explain to you at what part in the spread. Like, it's a really great app all over. But everything that I've pulled on this, compared to when I pull a deck physically, I have much more, I wouldn't say that any card is inherently negative, but I do have a lot more negative draws. There are a lot more, in the description down below too, are way more negatively biased in a sense. So it makes me wonder with the app if it's like just kind of geared more toward that. And I also kind of sit there and go, okay, so if I'm currently on a more negative imbalance path, what is something I could do to switch that or fix that? Or if that's what I'm currently headed towards, how do I fix that and circumvent it? So I don't see like the end of my day being negative, but it could be that I'm seeing that there's something negative supposed to happen and I changed my output, so I then realigned to something different. So yeah, that's how kind of the top things that I use my phone for in a more witchy sense. What do you guys use your phone for? Is there certain things that you use it technology-wise, maybe other apps? I do know there's the Witches and Pagan Amino app. I really have not found too much happiness with that app per se. Like, I tried it out for a little bit and I never really got into it, and it just seemed a little too complicated. Like, it just seemed a little too all over the place and messy. Like, I would have to sit down and like really think through it, and half the reason I use apps is to simplify stuff, not overcomplicate it. So comment down below other things you use your phone for, or other technology bits that help you around with your witchcraft, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.